Let's put a rocket booster on this record. A sizzling, mesmerizing summer soundtrack. A potential summer hit record. So perfect. This is like, retrofitted, produced, almost as if it was manufactured for summertime listening, summertime radio, summertime listening to a great song like this on the beach. A song that's a musical toolbox full of hooks. And it starts from the get-go of this record. Got that siren going at the beginning, and then it goes, quote, "Some things never change. You're still my all-time fave," quote unquote. It's brimming with optimism, rapture, caught up in the rapture. That could happen to you if you listen to this record, because it's a peppy record. It's a good, get that blood going. That circulation cranked up big time. His name is Outasight, number 29 on my fantasy playlist with the all-time fave. Discovered this on Spotify. Boy, it was about 3 or 4 or 5 months ago. I can't put a date on it. I was on a roll with Spotify, discovering one great song after another, quite a few of them on this fantasy playlist. A clutch full of radio-friendly, hook-filled records on this fantasy playlist, if I do say so myself. And I know I'm being self-indulgent when I say that, but there it is. It is my video, but... All right, fantasy playlist I made at 8/20/22. Outasight, a.k.a. Richard Andrew. That's his real name. Richard Andrew, he's from New York City, Brooklyn. His dad gave him a guitar when he was 9 years old. But Richard couldn't get into the guitar. That wasn't his thing. No. He wanted to rap. He wanted to write. He wanted to sing. He started doing it when he was 10 years old. Some years later, when he was a young adult, late teens, early 20s, he was playing the clubs, small venues in New York City. He put out an EP, 2007. Outasight, Richard Andrews. He played at a hip-hop festival, playing alongside major label rappers. Skills, Consequence, Ghostface Killer rather. Big break, huge break. 2008, he put out a promotional CD called Radio New York. Got some success out of it, got some mileage out of it. Enough mileage to attract the attention of major record labels. Warner Brothers came calling. They signed him up in 2009. And his first studio album per se, Nights Like These. Tonight's the Night. That was his big single off that album. One of the big singles off that album. And when I think of Outasight, I always go back to this record. Tonight's the Night went to number 38 on Billboard's Hot 100, number 14 on the U.S. pop charts. And the song was featured on a Pepsi commercial, which aired on a show called X Factor USA. Another massive break for Outasight. He got the name, by the way, Outasight. He called himself, when he started rapping, he called himself Outsight, because he thought outside the box. But somehow along the line, the term, or maybe somebody started calling him, or he was known as Outasight. And Outasight sounds a lot more catchier than Outsight, so he went with Outasight. So there you go. He called himself Outasight. He came out with a song. I listened to it on YouTube. Boy, it's a fabulous funk record. It's like Bruno Mars on steroids. I missed this record completely. It was not played on the radio at all, called Wildlife. He's a good rapper. He was throwing down on that record, a good party record. Wildlife should have been at least played on rhythmic radio. Hip-hop, R&B radio. Oh, by the way, the song... Oh, I got the wrong fantasy playlist. I dug up an old fantasy playlist. Tonight's the Night. Put it at number 14 on my fantasy playlist just 10 years ago. March the 11th, 2012. And Elite Companies, check it out. Got Bruno Mars in there in the top 10. Chitty Bang. They came out with some good rap, hip-hop, pop records back in the day. Avicii on there. Kelly Clarkson. And let's see, who else? Oh, Gym Class Heroes. Hadn't heard from them in a long time. They were pretty popular back in the early 2010s. A little piece of archive right there. Musical history from back in the past. And put that song in the top 20 on my fantasy playlist. Outasight, all-time fave. The radio formats for this record, it's a mass appeal record. This record is even more commercial than Wildlife, and I would say that it's probably even more commercial than Tonight's the Night, because it stands right out at you. I mean, it just burrows into your head, and it stays there, makes a home in your head. You can't get the hook out of it. You can't get the song out of your head. You'll wind up playing that song over and over and over again in your head, and you're thinking, I can't get this song out of my head. The formats for this record: pop, rhythmic, R&B, hip-hop, and it's at number 29 on my fantasy playlist of May 8, 2022. Outasight with All Time Fave. Dean Kirk signing off. Take care.